Yeah, the classes at Sunridge have been going pretty well, and really and actually enjoying them. How they're taking these words pretty well. Get well, me and Claire or when Sister Cum was there, she would greet us. It was it was neat to hear. Actually, when you get to before class, you get there, asking the questions, which is pretty, it's a step in the right direction. It made me feel good that they're actually practicing, they're using, instead of just in the classroom, even just outside the classroom, outside the building is a start. And that's what I've been encouraging them to do when we get to the weekends. Everything from the first day till now, I've encouraged them every Fridays to practice what we've given them. Either ask what time it is. Time was a big one. They really enjoyed telling time. Time was Miss Panewa. Miss Panewa. Yeah. Excuse me. And let me grab my water bottle real quick. Because what started it off was not only time, but just the concept of numbers. We stuck with numbers, and numbers are a big part of our daily lives. What's the date today? What's how many of this do we need? Especially then the time was what kicked it in, was the concept of time, that we're totally run by the clock. Everything's on schedule. That our school, this class, everything's got to pop. It's got to be on time. Yeah, I'm not always on time. I'm not. 7:30. Gotta be here at 7:30. Yeah, I'm groggy at 7:30. I admit it. I tell them I'm a lazy person. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm lazy. Yeah, 7:30 to get here. Yeah, I'll be here at 7:30, but you ain't gonna get much out of me.
Is there a word for night owl? Sorry.
Yeah, just Miimánunaš. Miimánunaš. I'm an owl. Miimánunaš. I'm an owl. And yeah, but yeah, it's at 8 o'clock. I'll start. That's when my brain starts going to town at 8 o'clock. Yeah, so Miss Paniwa, so what we've just dealt with one concept so far, is just the after. The numbers, 1 through 12. Napt, pínapt, napt, pútɨmt, counting the hours. But if you're stuck in if you're in a military time and you don't understand that concept of that time, and you go all the way count to 24, actually 23. Actually, we don't really count the 24th hour. It's counted in the clock, but then yet it just, I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe the 24th, 2400. Maybe that does come about. I'm not sure. I've never heard it. But yeah. But this is how it all started. Just like this, just counting 1, 2. And I thought about it more. Is that what really kicked it off was the days of the week. The days of the week are numbered. Actually, Tuesday through Friday are numbered in a fashion, in a order. So every time I introduced a new part of the lesson, I had to think about it and actually bring it back 2 or 3 steps to the basics, the groundwork to numbers. We counted the minutes. How many minutes are an hour? 60. But then, yeah, there's like, so we start going through all the way to, so it's, we're not going to stop at 60. We'll go all the way to 100. Just so you have the constant understanding of the counting from 1 to 100 at least, just to start off. So we went from there. Then we got back into time, Miss Panewa, and we dealt with just one way of telling time, and that's just counting the minutes after. So nɨkní is one word that's like you're counting the hour. Nɨkní. Like how long does it take to get to Salem? How long does it take to Salem? 6 hours? About 4 hours? 6, 7? Salem? 5, 6? So they say łpan nɨkní. Say how many? Łpan nɨkní is 6 hours. Then you have the word that I've heard for minutes is wásklikt. And that just referred to the minute hand goes around faster than the hour hand. Wásklikt. Wásklikt means to go around, turn around. So that's the word I've heard and used and taught for minutes. Wásklikt. Like how long? How many minutes? Miss wásklikt, your break. How one night? Miss wásklikt, how one night? How long is your break? How many minutes? It'd be like what, 15? Is that 15 minutes? So pútɨmt wásklikt. 15 minutes. So that's the word, a minute, wásklikt. Then the final term that was used in that, or not final, but there's 2 more terms, was ipa. And that's referring to the straight up hour, like šipa, náptipa. Like šipa would be 1 o'clock. Náptipa, 2 o'clock. Tipa, 3 o'clock. That's actually 2 o'clock.
Oh, cool. Seemed like I also remember, if I'm not mistaken, or sometimes payn would they even every now and then get referred in there. Payn. Have you heard that?
Yeah, that's like saying, payn. It'd be like around 2 o'clock.
But okay, yeah. So I just kind of wondered about that. Around, but
yeah, around, give or take, after, before or after, around.
Páyšnaš payn.
Yeah, around 2 o'clock. Like Miss Muniwa grand entry. Šipayn. Around 1 o'clock.
And naman al-salat itakita.
Yeah.
Whatever day.
Papachu payn.
We too much.
Yeah. Maybe around noon. Yeah, maybe around noon.
So on that, on something like that, when you say that, you would have to even put that. Would you put that pa on the end? Payn pa. Would that be something like to add to that, or what do you think? Or is it already in that payn? It must. I think it's already within that payn because of that napt. Yeah. So it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be necessary to have to say like naaptit. I mean, could, but when you're more,
it just more to the definition, to the actually translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, náptipa. No, at around 2 o'clock. It adds the at around.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so, yeah. I forgot to add that. I need to add that to the class Monday. With Sunridge. I'm still gonna go in Monday to Sunridge. Doesn't matter if we have our tribal day off. I'm still gonna go in and be with the Sunridge students because they're still in school. But yeah, I need to add this payn in there. I forgot all about it. And the last one was wáaʻaw. Wáaʻaw. It's the after. Like now it's náptit ku uymɨ wáaʻaw. Pútɨmt ku šipa. Well, now it's not. But I was reading the clock on the wall. But even then, we know what hour we're in. Knowing because we're on the schedule, we know the hour, what time we're here. So, excuse me. A lot of times, you can just say how many minutes after it is, because we already know what hour we're at. Right, like right now, you could say ask the question, Míšmanunaš. Say, oh, what's that word? There's actually there or something. Another word was
Is it wick for half?
Wutk, actually. That's another word in there. Wutk. That can go underneath wáaʻaw actually too. That's another word that's in here. Wutk. Wutk is a half. Wutk. Actually, myself, I've actually used a wutk. A wutk. The same thing. A wutk. It's just half. So it's saying a wutk wáaʻaw. The half past. So referring to the time now, we know what time it is. We know what time this class started, 11 o'clock. So now we're just counting the minutes after. After the hour. And this is as far as I've gone with them. And there's, I still gotta go over some of the other terms, like try to figure out how to go about quarter after, quarter till. Yeah.
Is łásklikt specific to time, or is it a more general term?
It's a more general term. I would say a wutk or a wutk. It's yeah, it's just half. You can say Páyšnaš kútkutta máysx kútkutta. Yeah, that there. Yeah. Yeah, saying that I might work half day tomorrow. But yeah, right there too. I will, maybe I'll work half day tomorrow. That'll work. But this all started out with Míšmaš, and it went from there. Then I was just taken back that I forgot that I jumped the gun on it. Didn't go over the numbers with them. Really, we only went to like 10 when we first started with numbers. I was like, I jumped the gun. I got too far ahead of myself without actually going over numbers with them and how to go about saying the numbers. So that was so I had to back myself up and go over numbers with them. And now this is actually, we've been actually sticking with this telling time with them for probably about 3 weeks now. I think about 3 weeks. And they're actually eager to answer, even because where the front of the class is, where the whiteboard is, the clock is on the same wall, so I can't really see it. So I use that question with them every now and then, so I know what Míšmaš, and all of them are racing to say what time it is. So it's like, so I'm hearing a bunch of, I sound like an auctioneer went to a whole bunch of numbers being shouted out. But no, that's not it. That's not how you say it. You say it like this. So a bunch of numbers being thrown out at me, trying to tell me what time it is. No, which is good. It's good to hear them do that. They're understanding the concept of time. That time is a fairly new term, fairly new concept with our people within the past maybe about 70, 80 years at least. Because a lot of times it was just, they wake up before dawn, they'd be up moving already without, just look at the sun, feel the time of day up, without actually just really knowing what, the concept of telling time, the clock, and everything. That's just according to what my grandma was telling me about it. Is that she would tell us that telling time is fairly new. It's nothing that we've done for years. It's fairly new to us, to using a watch or a clock that tells us where to be at such and such time. You gotta be at school at what time. This class starts at what time. You got doctor's appointment at what time, what day. It's all numbers. It's all numbers. Everything, no matter where you go, it's always numbers. So that's where I had to step back and go through numbers with the students, and it all started out with time, and it's So yeah, Miimánunaš is the question, the main question. Miimánunaš. Miimánunaš. What time is it? Miimánunaš. And yeah, then after going over this, I jumped into a story about telling time. How we were as kids, messing around with our dad and our uncles when we had to be out in the mountains or something, cruising around. They ask what time is it, so we start playing with the concept of time. You gotta say, well, it's 20 till 20 to 3. Like, what? Our uncles and our dad look at us. Wait, what? Say that time again? Yeah, it's 20 minutes till 20 to 3. Huh? 20 minutes till 20 to 3. What time is it? It's 2:20. Well, just say that then. Like, you're all crazy about your time. But it was just fun. It was just all fun. It was just, yeah.
So speaking of like being out in the woods and maybe away from clocks, how would you maybe phrase something like it's 3 hours until sunset or something like that? Like, oh, it's 1 hour before sunrise, those kinds of phrasings.
It was like nɨkní máysx or wáaʻaw. Let's say wáaʻaw, máysx. I would actually say wáaʻaw, because yeah, nɨkní wáaʻaw till sunrise. The yaw was 2. That yaw in the wáaʻaw is 2. 2 sunrise. So east or sunrise, wáaʻaw. Yeah. And I forgot the word for it. There is a word for it. For sunset. Let me try to look it up. Maybe we'll see if it's in here in this book. Some words are not in the dictionary, but okay, it's just the same thing then. Still, it doesn't make sense. I would say tináynačtyaw. So if you say like it's 2 hours to sunset, nápt nɨkní tináynačtyaw. Two hours to sunset. And tináynačtyaw also just means west or sunset. It's where the sun goes down anyway. Because another term that in there that or kutla and or say nami kutlama would use when we're digging. So wíyat tináynačtyaw. Almost it's almost sunset. We gotta make our way back to camp. Knowing that's what she meant. She didn't say the whole thing. It's like wíyat tináynačtyaw. It's almost sunset. Because that implied that we can't be out in the field still digging when the sun's down. We gotta bring what we dug, bring it back to camp before the sun goes down, because it's still clean, it's pure, and I want nothing ugly that's walking around to jump on it.
Damien, tell me about wíyat.
Far. Like far away, far away, far or far away. No, not far away. Almost. Chawia. Yeah, see, these are terms that our cutlas would talk about when we out in the boot fields. That it wasn't really conducted by the clock; it was actually conducted by the sun. You see they look at their shadows when they're in the fields and say once the shadow is our shadow's straight, not leaning against the land or anything, that's when it's time to eat. Gotta take a break. We've been digging all morning. Time to eat a little bit. Then we'll get back. And once you see our shadow stretching out further, it's okay. It's getting close. We gotta end it now. We gotta make our way back to camp. Wáaʻaw, tináynačtyaw. Auna kútkutta. But now we'll go back. Now we'll go back home. Now we'll go back home. Meaning camp was our home. Yeah, so all this one idea, this concept of telling time, where it goes from here. That we can we just done with after, and it's a good question though too, to say how many hours till sunrise, how many hours till sunset. Concepts that we don't even realize that are there, that we use, that are there, and we use it more often than we even know about it. It's just so common. It's like hearing somebody say it like a lot. They want to, and then he was like this, and then it was like that, and like this, and like, why is it always going to be like something? You say, can't it just be something? He said this and he said that, and he said it like this, and he was all like, no.
Do kids still talk like that these days?
Yeah, they still do. Yeah, my daughter just comes back from school and just says like a lot. Every sentence starts with like. I'm like me. Can't you just say he said this and he said that, and he thought this and he thought that? No, he thought like this and he thought like that, and like this and like that. But
likewise.
And that's a question too that I get asked a lot. It's about like. It wasn't and even in my time growing up, it wasn't that if we liked something or not. It was, we did it or we didn't. It's like saying, do you like making drums? Well, you see me doing it, so I don't need to say I like it. Or I like running. I don't need to say that. You see me doing it on a regular basis. I'm enjoying it. I'm running. So I'm gonna have to ask me if I like it or not. Do you like to work all the time? Well, if you enjoy what you're doing, you don't really call it work. It's something that you do. To other people, it may seem like work, but a lot of times if it's something that you enjoy doing, I don't know, all the time, it's not work. It's just life. But even doing this class for me, it's someone like, why you coming in? Why you coming to work? You don't need to be here. Actually, I don't. I got no nɨkní classes. I got no Sunridge classes today, so I still got Zoom. I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'll be here in Zoom as long as they need me here. I'm not gonna stop. That's what I thought with Monday's agenda, and I got the day off or Indigenous Day. So I'll still come in. I'll still come in to be with my students, my class. I'll just count those hours for that day. 1 hour here and 2 hours at Sunridge. I'm not gonna leave them hanging. It's not, not their fault that we can't be there. I'm not gonna deny them the opportunity. If they're still in school, I'll still work for them. And yeah, then it started out. It went out, and that's another one that went off because I gave them a test on time, constantly telling time, how to say time, how to write out time. And those ones that finished, that's when we went into Míšmaš and went into some of the articles of clothing that they wear on a regular basis: a hat, sweatshirt, coat, shirt, pants, dress, shoes, underwear, socks, just basic things, nothing too elaborate. Even like eyeglasses, watch, things like that. Where what it was, Míšmaš, do you have Míšmaš coat? If they can't remember the word for the name of the item, just add in the English term. Míšmaš coat. Do you have a coat? I was urging them that it's not what the item that's the importance. It's the question that's important. How you're asking. Míšmaš. The Míšmaš, do you have? When from there you understand that Míšmaš, especially when they had when they were in online school, I had to ask this question: Míšmaš Wi-Fi? Do you have Wi-Fi? Those types of things. It's just we don't even think about it. It's there. Míšmaš, do you have? Then from there, went to Miimánunaš, and that was a common one that we, especially this time of year, us boys, not so much the girls, but us boys always ask this question: Miimánunaš, kapu or coat, all the time. One of those two words is always asking that: Miimánunaš kapu or Miimánunaš coat. Where is your coat? I'm still running around like it's summertime. It snows on the ground. So while going outside to catch the bus with my T-shirt on and my backpack. So that question, Miimánunaš, the mush is referring to what belongs to you. Yeah, so so it just went on from there, and that's what I started going off from there with other classes, the past classes. I'm not sure if maybe you got the notes too and the things that we've covered. Mishmashwa, manmashwa. We had shinmashwa and munmashwa. Who is your? When is your? Where is your? Do you have? It's the only time it changes. It changes. And this is where and this past Wednesday we went over a nɨkní. That's where a how comes in. The word nɨkní comes in. Nɨkní mashwa. How is your? That's the how is. Nɨkní mashwa. Now, who is your? When is your? How is your? Then with all these, a lot of times we a lot of times we talk with in the past tense. When was your flight? Had the was in there. Or who was your friend? As we have the wacha. Munmash wacha. When was your munmash wacha presentation? When was your presentation? Like say if someone's sitting there, I came here to see your presentation. Oh, it already happened. Miimánunaš wacha? When was it? Wacha? If you missed it, it's just those types of things. How was Miimánunaš wacha? How was your? And it goes the same too with you can put the wacha on Míšmaš wacha. Did you have? Míšmaš wacha kusi. Did you have a dog? Míšmaš wacha kitis. Do you have a cat? But mish in here, only time it changes is where it doesn't use it doesn't change to how in any form. Like it's at mishnamwa. How are you? Mishmashwa. Do you have? Using the form of mush, that's where the nɨkní really comes in for how. It's just where in this word it just came off. This came off on numbers. Started with Míšmašwa. Míšmašwa kusi. Question it. Do you have a dog? Then it went into, if they answered yes, and then it went back to numbers again. Míšmašwa kusi. Mish is how many. Mish is the word for how many or how much. Míšmašwa. So that's what. So that's where it came about that no, the numbers are constant. No matter what you ask, the number is gonna make its way or whatsoever. Gonna be asking, it's gonna show itself. Míšmašwa kusi kusi. How many dogs now? It says Míšmašwa kusi kusi. Hey, Míšmašwa kusi kusi. Either gonna be 1, 2. No. And it just goes off from there. Numbers, how many, how much. Yeah, hope I'm not really confusing you with all this.
No, this is really great. It's really nice to have kind of that linear, like this is the who, this is the how much. It's very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's do you have when is the mush is always so it's a one-on-one conversation really. No, you're not asking like if you're talking with your whole crew, your whole workforce, then it changes. The word changes. But if you're just talking to one, this is just a one-on-one conversation. Míšmašwa, so whole one-on-one person. Right, Míšmašwa presentation. No, do you have a presentation? Míšmašwa webinar. Do you have a webinar? Míšmašwa I don't know. Whatever you want to put in it. Do you have Míšmašwa? Then Míšmašwa. Now, if you're talking about price now, right, you want to ask how much is it? Míš'iwa. Míš'iwa. Right. And that's just the question itself. Míš'iwa, how much is it? Like, yo, I want to get a pair of new shoes. Míš'iwa. Like, oh man, I hated hearing that question because I knew that I got my cutoff point was like $80. So I was like, damn it, these shoes are like $120. So I'm not gonna bother. Never mind. Then my dad will be on. Well, Míš'iwa? No, not gonna say nothing. It's gonna be a flat out no. So don't continue it. And he would still bug it. Okay, it's 120. And then he start complaining. See, this is why I want to tell you. You want to hear the complaints.
You can't get that no yet, too. You gotta wait, see if maybe there's a sale, and then ask again.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the clearance. I'll wait a couple weeks and they'll be on clearance or be on sale. So yeah, I finally grown to understand that now. And understand the clearance and the sales. Like I'll wait a couple, maybe 2-3 weeks, and they'll be on sale. The brand new shoes will come on. They'll put these ones in the sale area. So, but Míš'iwa was a constant, and that's again numbers. How much is it?
Is there a way that you could say it's like how much less is it, or like how much more is it?
That's where the wáaʻaw would come in more too. Like like if it's $40 more. Like pínaptit wáaʻaw uymɨ kɨkhaik. And that kɨkhaik in there refers to the dollar, the money amount. Where it doesn't, you don't need to you don't have to put it in there after 40. It just the kɨkhaik at the end, it just automatically implies that what you're talking about. You're talking about money. You pútɨmt wáaʻaw, but náptit kɨkhaik. It's $40 more. It's 40 more than 80. No, we can't hide from it. The numbers are a constant, no matter what we do in our life. And the time is the constant. The concept of the clock is a constant. What time do you wake up? What time do you have dinner? What time do you have breakfast? What time do you normally get to work? What time do you leave work? The time. What time do you usually go out? Me, I didn't go out when it's right after work. Oh no, I waited till the sun was down. Then I was free to do anything. And then once the sun goes down, you leave me alone. Don't bother me. I don't want to hear it. That's how I was with my parents. I was able to go out in the town, and then once there's no sun whatsoever, and it goes over the horizon, I'm done. You either come with me or leave me alone. So, yeah, that was my 21, 22 age phase. Now it's just like, eh.
Yeah, now whenever I sit down is when I'm in. So sometimes that happens when the sun is up, sometimes not.
Yeah. It's one of those all-nighters thing. What day is it? It's Sunday. It'll happen on Saturday.
I think you might be more fun than I am.
Oh, that was years ago. That was, I say, those are my 20s. My 20s. Friday come along, like I did bring clothes, right? Where's my bag? Yeah, those types of crazy times. I wonder how I even survived. Yeah, and I don't even really go out. Don't even really go out anymore. No, I just go to the store, buy my drinks, and just head back home and drink at home.
There are other factors to that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there's other factors. I got myself in trouble twice, and I don't want to do that again. And it's just cheaper to do that at home. If I do end up downtown, oh yeah, it's I want to get away from home. That's few and far between now. Other than that, I'm sitting outside. Well, yeah, so Miss Mashwat shoot. How many drinks do you have? Again, see? No, we can't leave it out. It's part of language. It's part of growing up. Part of using it. Miss Mashwat shoot. How many drinks do you have?
We could be talking about water bottles.
Anybody talking about water bottles? We can talk about about Pepsis, Cokes. When you're I don't know if you're a Pepsi or a Coke fan. Either way, or if you're right in the middle, or don't care whatsoever. It's I'm a RC Cola.
I was gonna say Jolt. They don't make it anymore.
I know, right? Yeah. Jolt. Surge. I was Surge. I was Surge when it came out. I was a Surge person. We're gonna travel around with my late cousin. Yeah, every time we hit the road, we had to make sure we had our loaf of bread, we had our lunch meat, we had our couple of bags of chips, and our couple 12 packs of Surge. And we'd be off to a powwow. Remember? Yeah. Or a lot of times we would forget the food, just buy the Surge.
Sugar is food, I think. The USDA says so.
Yeah. So yeah. Míšmaš what Surge. Yeah, you have Surge. Yeah, Míšmaš what Jolt. Yeah. What was the other one? Míšmaš what Tab. Yeah, Tab. all those things like that. Míšmaš what Shoot. You know, how many drinks do you have? Míšmaš what you have. And Míšmaš what Shoot. Do you have any drinks? Míšmaš what Shoot. Do you have any? Yeah, I was one of those ones that would ask that question too, especially with some of my friends. I wouldn't. First, I would ask them just by that time I'm feeling pretty good. That's when sometimes I start talking. Míšmaš what Shoot. Oh yeah. They have like pull out 2 from their pockets. Is that it? Kaya? That it? Yeah. Then the night goes on. Can I have them? That's why I asked. Do you have any? You're bugging me for mine. But yeah, it's just those types of things. You haven't. Míšmaš what Shoot. Do you have any drinks? Do you have drinks? Míšmaš what Shoot. How many drinks do you have? Or you see someone. Míšmaš what Shoot. How many drinks did you have? If you see someone that's pretty, they're already up there, like, or I don't know if you want to call it up there, or maybe they're already on the downhill side of their night. Míšmaš what Shoot. It's all about feeling too. You're sitting there kind of, you see they're talking at you, they're all really slurred and whatnot. Míšmaš what Shoot. Míšmaš what How many did you have? How many did you have? I can't understand you. But yeah, let's see how things started. It went from something real good. Now we're getting out to the party phase.
This is my fault. I feel like this is the Friday lessons with me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. This is actually, this is actually where I learned a lot too. It's where I learned a lot. My grandma wasn't no saint. She had her times. She had her crazy nights. She actually had ladies' nights. My grandma had ladies' nights with her buddies and her sisters. And yeah, they would sometimes they'd go downtown, or sometimes they would just call each other up. We're gonna meet at this house or that house, and they'd have their little drinks, and they were walking in. And those times when they'd be at our house, and a whole bunch of grandmas sitting in the living room, having either a wine coolers or their beer or a bottle of wine, or even pass around a bottle of whiskey. Yeah. I tell stories to some of my cousins about their grandmas or something. They're like, "Really, grandma drank?" I said, "Where the hell you been? You didn't know your grandma drank?" "Oh yeah, it was funny. Your grandma was funny. I thought she was mean." "Oh, you did. You don't know your grandma." I used to laugh around with your grandma. It's funny hearing her stories. And the language was there too. That's what was funny too. Is that all the language, or telling the stories all language. And hearing it was just funny. All their wild stories, all the dirty laundry that came out. That was like, yes, I grew up in a cool time. I look back on those stories. Yeah, they're funny. Some are like, I didn't know my grandma drank, but then it was just the experience that they had. And yeah, it was just the experience of them just being people. They weren't just not the typical, Indian grandmas. They got to be in such and such way. They got to be a certain way. They got to be the homemakers, and that's all they do. That's all they got to worry about, teaching the grandchildren and all whatnot. No, they had a life. They'll deal with enough. They need time to let it out, let their hair down. And yeah, so our grandmas, my grandma, she was one of them. There was no holy roller or whatnot. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna call up my sister. I'm gonna call up my other sisters, and yeah, living room full of grandmas, laughing around, drinking around. But it wasn't like every weekend or every day. We was like, about 3-4 times a year. Yeah, and it was fun. Those were fun times, and that's where all these questions came from too. I remember a lot of these questions. That Míšmaš would shoot, asking as they came in, showing up and sitting there. Hey, walking in. Hey, I got it. I got mine. Another one come walking in. Míšmaš would shoot. Hey, not mine. No, just going up like that. Another one walking. Míšmaš would shoot. Hey, not mine. Cheer. Yeah, so it'd just be all fun.
I think that's what I really like about these language classes is there are so many stories, like personal stories that come up during them, and that's really a wonderful way to learn.
Yeah, and that's where all these questions came from too. They asked each other, and they complain about how much it is then compared to when they were 21. These used to be cheap. Now they're expensive. Yeah. But it would just talk so fast. Everything went by so fast. Just how they used it, just how they talked, it was just amazing. A lot. It just all of it was just questions. Mishnamwa, Mishiwa, Mishmashwa, Mishmashwa, Mishiwa. All started out like this. Mishpaniwa. Oh, they're always checking what time it was. Mishpaniwa. I'd hear that every 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Mishpaniwa. You guys can't be that old and forgetting it just asked 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Yeah, don't worry about the time. You're here having fun. Don't worry about it. But yeah, all these things, all these concepts, all these things, numbers. Questions. Yes. We're very inquisitive people. Always want to know what's going on. How much is this? How was this? How was that? How is it? How was that? Do you have? When is this? When is your? Where is your? All those types of things was always questions. And where we left off Wednesday was why. Why? And there's a whole broad thing of why. Tuyao mashwa. Tuyai mashwa, but that's only part of it. Tuyao is for something. Right? Tuyao mashwa. Why is your? What is? It turns from really why, but it's a why, but it turns into what translation? For why for is your dad here? Or something like that. Tuyai mashwa. Tuyai mashwachna tuta. Why for is your dad here? No, I mean an object. It's what is he here for? Why is he here? Or in terms of tuyao mashwa. Tuyao mashwa. Mashtuta chna. Tuyao mashtuta. Actually, that wa would go on the after. Yeah, tuyao mashwa. Actually, this one wouldn't be father, it'd be dad. Now, why is your dad here? Tuyao mashwa. No, like for what thing? What's he picking up? What is your dad here for? That's the why. That'd be the question for why. Tuyao and tuyai. And again, it's for, but it's a benefactive. Tuyai mashwa. Yeah, so it's the I in there is so we got what purpose? What's the reason? What's the reason why he's here? What purpose is going to serve? Is that going to serve? Tuyai mashwa tutachna. For what purpose? Is he here to work? Is he here to give a speech? Is he here to whip somebody? Is he here to I don't know.
I'm having kind of a difficult time separating those two things, just kind of in my own process.
Yeah, the concept of why, yeah, these two terms right here are the real most common, tuyao and tuyai. Tuyao. It's for an object, it's for a thing, like saying wáaʻaw is here to pick up the outfit for the outfit. Tuyao for the outfit.
Is it kind of a distinction between like why are you here for an object and why are you here for like an action? Like
yeah.
Activity? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah, because here's a good way to identify that too. We went over this a couple weeks ago, and you're saying Winashash Patchanuyaw Yamasyaw. The concept of the changing of the two meanings of yaw. Winashash Patchanuyaw, going to the mountains. Yamasyaw for deer. Now we'll change that Yamash from the Yamasyaw, and we'll change that. Winashash Patchanuyaw Yamashai. We're going to the mountains for the deer. Like maybe cleaning up a deer habitat. It's gonna benefit the deer. Maybe we're gonna do take out some invasive weeds, or we're gonna do some thinning. That's the yaw and I, the difference in both the four. Like even the big thing too is like the what makes it, I think, even would be a better one. I'm always thinking, always saying something and thinking backwards, was the river. Uynɨnash wáaʻaw nɨkní. I'm going to the river for salmon. Then now it goes back to Uynɨnash wáaʻaw nɨkní. I'm going to the river to like stand up for the salmon, to be there for the salmon, stand with the salmon, protest for the salmon. You know, nɨkní, it's to benefit the fish. I'm going to the river for the fish. Then for the salmon. Nɨkní. It's for the benefit of the salmon that you're doing that for. If that makes a little bit more sense, and that's where the tuyaw, they come in with the tuyaw and tuyai. It's same idea. Why for? And a tuyaw, and that's the why for. What's the object in question? Tuyaw. Like been asking, tuyaw na munata, sefoyaw. Why are you going to Safeway? Yeah, exactly. Where are you going to Safeway to get? Why are you going to Safeway? Tuyaw na munata, Safeway out. No, that's where you're not. Then you go tuyay na munata, Safeway out.
Thank you. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, tuyay nam. What are you going to Safeway for? To work? What are you going to Safeway to now? What are you going to Safeway to do? Are you I'm gonna go cash in my cans. I start my new shift at 8 o'clock. Or I don't know. I'm meeting someone there. I don't know. Tuyay. What's the reason? What's the why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose for you going to Safeway? Tuyay nam. Yeah, the whole thing of why tuyaw mush and tuyay mush. No, there's more to it, to why. There's tukin, taiku, all these different terms of why. And I made that comment with my dad here when I had him on my duo call, and it was I made the comment of, growing up, we were always told to don't ask why, just do it. There's no reason for you to ask why. Then why are there so many terms for why? Why do you have so many terms for why? Then if we're don't ask why, just do it. Why? Why is there so many terms? Tuyaw, tuyay, tukin, and taiku. And there's more. I think there's about 2 or 3 other terms for why. Tukin is like with who? Why him? Why with him? Haiku is like and why. Wouldn't it be like with whom? Why with whom? Or would that be the correct English term to use? With whom?
Like whom instead of who? I think like standard English would tell you to do that. I'd just say who. But like, is this actually, leaving it open? Why are you going it? Who are you going with?
Who you're going with?
Say
Tukin. Why tukin Tukini winata. Tukin na winata. Kakinashin. Why are you going with Thomas? I think that was a, or I don't think you even need the "in" in there. I think it's implied in the tukin, kakinash. Tukin namunata kakinash. Why are you going with Thomas?
I mean, we've got less than a minute left. I've got to hop off after this.
All right. Well, we'll stop right there. And thank you for coming there, Colleen. Again, we'll be here again Wednesday if you have time, and we'll be back again Friday.
Thank you for teaching.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful lesson. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here, and you guys have a good weekend. Have fun. Be safe. See you guys next
Thank you,
week.
you too. Bye.
All right. Yow.
Yow.